everybody and welcome to the Flute Practice. Today we are going to be taking a look at technique books. This is quite a jungle to navigate your way through. I find there are so many of these things and I never really know which ones to use. So today I'm just going to give you some of my favorite stuff. So let's go check it out. I don't think any discussion on technique is complete without starting at our good old friend Taffanel and Gaubert, 17 Daily Exercises. This book really is, for me, one of the kind of fundamentals of all our technique, and what is so cool about it is it's free online. You can download it off IMSLP, you can also get it off my website. I'm going to pop that link below. Now, there are a range of different exercises in this book. There are a couple that I personally really love. Firstly, Taffanel and Gaubert number 1 and 2, which are our basic. So on and so forth. These are really great for like finger dexterity. They're also really nice for that low register. Sometimes I just practice it either tongued or even just on ha. Really nice just to get that really low crisp articulation. But also really nice for your high register. For those tricky finger combinations, I really recommend going and doing that exercise all the way up. The other exercises that I really love from this book are number 6 and number 7. Number 6 are your thirds and sixes. All the way up, and the reverses of those. I actually practice these every single day. Thirds and sixes, I really go through them every single day. The sixes are nasty, do them slowly. So on and so forth. Number 7 is really nice. It's great for those nice little finger techniques. All centered around that D-E area, which is so nasty on the flute. So this exercise is a great one. I also do this every single day. Also really great for that high register. You can get up there. Nice for those nasty finger combinations, especially when you start doing it in crazy keys. For those of you who are maybe more intermediate level, these Taffanel and Gaubert exercises can be done very slowly. They might be a little bit advanced already, especially some of them. I'm going to recommend you do the Reichert exercises. Those are also free and available online. I will post that link also up on my website. You can do a lot of these exercises in this book for tone development as well. You can do them nice and slowly, really beautiful. Number 1 is quite a famous one. It's a nice good starting point, just practicing your scales. Frustratingly, some of my absolute favorite books are Marcel Moyse books. I say frustratingly because they are not in public domain yet, which means you do have to buy them and purchase them, which is fine, but they are very expensive. You know, these books easily can cost you up to $50 for just one book. But that being said, I do believe it is a worthwhile investment. One of my absolute favorite are the 480 exercises. This book is so cool, and I'm going to show you why. Because you get this really cool sheet that comes with it. Sorry, this one's looking quite frayed. I've got all crosses made off there with all these numbers. So basically how this works is you have here on the left, these are the actual exercises, and you've got all these numbers listed for the exercises. So it's basically 1 to 480. And on this side, in no specific order, you've got a list of all these numbers. And that's why on my little sheet I had nicely crossed off, because as you work through, you do the number, you find the exercise in the book, you play it, you cross it off, and then you go to the next number. And this means you're really going to jump around in this book, which is quite exciting, and I find makes my practicing very engaging because I don't kind of have to think too much, and there's always like kind of new, exciting, fun exercises. And I just decide how many I want to do a day. So like say I'm going to do 4 a day, I'm going to do 8 a day, or whatever it might be. And I just systematically work my way through this quite slowly. Some of the exercises are quite tricky. The first exercise in the book, I sometimes just do as an exercise on its own. It's a really great exercise, which goes. And you work all the way up the scale. Once again, you're checking all those little finger pattern, finger combinations, you know, like are those fingers absolutely even and consistent in those little combinations? It's a really nice way to practice it. So really a worthwhile book to get. Of course, any good discussion on technique books is just not complete without looking at those books that deal specifically with tone, and in this breath, Della Sonorite, because that book is just kind of the fundamental of our tone development exercises. The very famous, and I'm sure most of us are used to warming up with the... Interestingly, this exercise was never really meant as a warm-up exercise. It's actually a tone development exercise. It's meant to develop your sound and your tone. What I think is almost a step more awesome than De la Sonorité is the book by Philippe Bernold. He is a French teacher, and it's called, I always forget the name of this book, it's quite French complicated. La technique de embouchure. My French is horrible, I'm sorry guys. It is a really amazing book. The first part of the book kind of takes you through these lovely vocalese exercises, beautiful kind of just practicing the nice legato playing. And then you go through exercises that are training specifically your pianissimo playing, your piano playing, and those della sonorite exercises, that one is used in all sorts of different forms and shapes and all sorts of stuff with crescendos and decrescendos and what not all. It is really great. It's a wonderful book just to kind of work through. Once again, you don't have to think so much. You don't have to kind of be so creative about what you're doing, which is nice sometimes, but you kind of just are guided through this awesome process of developing your sound, developing your quiet playing, developing your forte playing. It's awesome. It's really an awesome book. Once again, is on the pricier side of life. It's about $40 odd as well. But it really is a book that I would really recommend. So if you've got a bit of extra cash and you want to improve your sound, go for it. There are some books that are just plain straight up fun for flute playing, and I think these are really worthwhile to have, especially when we're having those kind of weird practice days where we just don't really feel like doing anything. One of these is the Robert Dick Tone Development Through Extended Techniques. It's a lot of fun. You do all kinds of cool exercises like singing and playing and multiphonics and all sorts of awesome stuff. It might want to be added that he's got a YouTube channel, so please, if you haven't already, go check that out. He actually explains a lot of the stuff that he does, which is awesome. I think it's quite a rare thing that we can, get these incredible masters of specific techniques or flute playing actually making videos online for us to watch. It's amazing. It kind of blows my mind. The other really fun book is by Peter Lucas Graf, Checkup. This is I found this a really interesting book, looking at, different components of flute playing and going through some very interesting exercises. I really think it's worth a purchase, worth a look at. I only discovered this book a few years ago, and I used it particularly in a time where I wasn't able to play because of a finger injury, and I must say this book really it is very cool. There is one really cool consideration, and this book I am actually going to show you guys. It is kind of like a compilation of a whole bunch of these different technical exercises. It's one of the kind of first flute books that I got. What's nice about it is that in one kind of compendium you get a whole lot of the technical exercises. You get the Reichert, you get the Taffanel and Gaubert, you get some of his own exercises. What's really nice, once again, you don't really have to think so much about like what books you need. It's kind of all in one. And what is quite cool about the end of this book, what I really like, you can see mine is desperately empty, which never really happened, but they've got kind of a practice schedule system thing going on, which for some of you might really work, might be interesting. I'm not sure why I've never used it. I guess probably just lazy, but could be really fun. Guys, I have written a nice list below of the books that I've discussed in this video. Also some other books that you might want to go and check out. Some really great stuff, especially for those of you who are quite advanced and you want a bit more of a challenge. In the new year, I am planning to do a kind of like flute boot camp, 30 days of technical exercises and technique to really boost our technique for the year. For those of you who would like to take part in this, please stay tuned. More info will come about this soon. I'm very excited. I know I need a little bit of a kind of a boot camp for myself after this hectic, busy year. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be lots of fun. Until then, everybody, keep it real, keep practicing, and see you next time.